Hi, I'm Fiona Bennett, life coach, educator, and energy healer with Life Learning Strategies, and I want to talk to you today about feeling out of control. And I think a lot of us, right now especially, are feeling like that things are out of our control. And how do we deal with that? And it's really difficult sometimes to accept that, but that's exactly what needs to happen, because when we don't accept the fact that things are out of our control, what happens is we just create for ourselves more anxiety. Being in a situation where we are trying to take control over things that are not our control generates feelings of frustration, anxiousness, resentment, and you can feel really trapped. It can lead to depression and anger, all kinds of really negative emotions. And the reality is that if it's not in your control, then being anxious and stressed about it doesn't change that. All it does is lead to you feeling anxious, stressed, and frustrated. It doesn't change the outcome. So instead, I urge you to come up with some alternate ways of coping. So how do we do that? So first of all, you got to figure out what is and what isn't in your control. So think about it, really. A lot of us tend to think that we have control over so much more than we actually do. So maybe, take a piece of paper or just in your head, think about 3 different areas of spheres of control. So one is, what do I actually have control over? What do I have influence over? And what do I have no control over whatsoever? And then write down all of the things that you think apply in each of those areas. So in the what do I really have control over, you're going to probably have a very short list, because things that you have influence over will include other people, your work, situations, any other circumstances, people, things, places, anything but you. The only thing that you have actual control over is you, your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior. Everything else falls into those other 2 circles. And yes, you may have influence over some other things, but you don't control anything else, including your children. So sometimes as parents, we really do think we have control over our children. Or as partners, we think we have control over our spouses, but that's not true. We don't. We may have influence over those other people, but we do not control them. In a workplace, if we're an employer, we may have control over the destiny of our employee. That you can put that in your circle. But as an employee, we have very little control over our boss. We might be able to influence what happens in our workplace, but we don't have control. And so when we think that we do, when we think it's right, I'm doing what's right, and so therefore it should happen, it has to happen, that is misleading. We can influence. So really, try and take an honest look. What do you have control over? It's a very small circle. It doesn't mean that it's a powerless circle. Your thoughts, behaviors, and feelings are important. And you can take a thought and decide with that thought, how am I going to feel today? Who am I going to be in this world? And that's huge. So someone else may have control over what your circumstances are, but they do not have control over what your life is, because you do have control over how you think and feel. So that's still a very powerful position to be. What you may not have control over are the decisions that get made around you. And that's where we're really struggling, because right now, a lot of the decisions for our life, where we go, who we can be with, where we are able to travel to, can we even get out and go to work? Where are children? Can our children be in daycare? Can our children go to school? Can our children go and play with another person? Do they have a friend? Can I have a friend? Can I have a friend in my house? Right now, no. Can I travel from this town to that town? No. So those decisions that are normally any adult can make have been totally taken from us. So that's very challenging to accept. So that's where we're struggling right now. And it does feel bad, doesn't it? If we allow it to. So what we have to try and practice is acceptance. That for this period of time, some of the decisions that are normally within our circle have been moved into another circle. And that's unfortunately the way it is. And so to practice acceptance and to know that if it's true, which I believe it is, that we are manifestations of spirit and that spirit works with us and through us, and that all things are part of the greater good, that this too is a part of my evolution, and that this too is going to help me grow, and that I will be able to find the lesson in this, and that I can evolve and grow even in this period of time, this very difficult period of time, if I allow myself to accept what's happening. So that's what I do, is try and allow myself to accept what's happening. So I set an intention for myself each day to accept whatever it is that's going to unfold and to find the good in it for myself and to grow. So I would ask that you try and do the same and see if you feel different as a result. Feel different accepting versus fighting. And one thing that I think might help, along with setting that intention, is in the spirit of accepting is the Serenity Prayer, which is, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So I hope that these tips have been helpful, and I hope that you subscribe to this video. That would mean a great deal to me. I would appreciate it. And if you would like to talk more, please feel free to reach out at bennett, bennett.lifelearningstrategies@gmail.com, and check out my website at lifelearningstrategies.com. Watch another video. I hope that you will get some more practical tips and more inspiration, and I will talk to you soon.